We have attendees beginning to sign in. We'll be beginning in just one moment. Please give us 30 more seconds before we begin our presentation. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Nepal, Executive Director of Jewish Family and Children's Services of Greater Mercer County, and we really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight for our webinar, Honoring the Holidays While Apart. Our agency continues to serve the community during this challenging times by adapting our services to meet your needs. We are proud to be able to share the professional insight of our licensed counselors and tonight our chaplain in order to provide much needed emotional and psychological support as we navigate this crisis together. Tonight, the discussion will be led by our Director of Clinical Services, Shirley Bellardo, a licensed clinical social worker and licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor. Shirley has extensive experience in helping individuals during traumatic events, including serving on the Mercer County Traumatic Loss Coalition Task Force. Her co-host, Beverly Rubman, is part of our Senior Services Department, providing chaplaincy services to our elderly clients, as well as leading all of our caregiver support groups and bereavement groups as well. Beverly has provided guidance for many during times of crisis. Before I turn this presentation over to both Beverly and Shirley, please know that questions can be submitted in the Q&A or chat box at any time during this presentation, and we will be answering these questions following the presentations. Beverly and Shirley, take it away.
Thank you, Michelle. 3 major religions will observe important holidays this month, which typically involve large gatherings in houses of worship, and all usually involve getting together with family and friends to enjoy a holiday meal. The global pandemic is upending the season's holidays, forcing leaders and practitioners across the spectrum to improvise. Religion is moving into a virtual world without a roadmap for prayer and celebration. It is a challenge for everyone. We are all grieving. Nothing is the same, and there is tremendous anxiety and fear. What do we do? You can focus on what you do have control over. You might agree not to let COVID-19 take away any more of the spring season, and that the holidays should go on.
When we start thinking about how we are going to honor the holidays, we start by brainstorming. And there are 2 things that we started with. What is important to you about the holiday? There are 2 aspects. The first, as Shirley already started to mention, is at home. So much of the celebration of Passover, Easter, Ramadan is in the home. Special meals, multi-generational sharing of traditions and rituals, and the Passover Seder is the most observed holiday in the Jewish calendar. Almost every American Jew will attend a Seder. So many families are putting together virtual Seders and Easter dinners, eating, praying, singing together, even if not at the same table, with readings and other activities assigned in advance. There are many websites describing how to create such events through Zoom and other platforms. We'll discuss in a minute things that can be done in advance to bring the feeling of the holiday into your home during this time of social isolation. So that's the first thing, what's going on in your home. The second aspect is in your house of worship, because you also can't be at your house of worship for services that for some people, that might be the most important part of the holiday. Many people in particular, there's a memorial service at the end of Passover called Yizkor that many feel lost without attending. So there are online synagogue and church services to connect people. We understand that mosques are also streaming mid-Friday discussions, and these are all ways to remain united in prayer. We have put together a list of services to stream in our community relating to all three faiths, and they will be posted on the JFCS website after. It might already be up there, but it will be after the end of this session. So from there, we have the two aspects. We're going to focus primarily on the home. So I'll switch to Shirley to talk about how we start.
Okay, so most importantly, you want to remain connected. Connect, connect, connect. Even if you can't be together, it's important to our health and well-being to maintain social connections. Find ways to make it work. Plan B. Use your telephone, email, FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, or other social media to stay connected to family and friends. Search for podcasts on music, on the internet. Go locally or globally. If you need some time to detach from technology, take pictures to share. Offer family copies of your favorite recipes. Make special foods. Decorate Easter eggs. Bring out some items that mean the most to you at the holiday time. Memories. Embrace the past holiday experiences and know that you will be there again in the future. Next year, you will talk about this Easter, Passover, Ramadan in the past tense. Talk with your family and friends about what you need and what each of you can do to help each other.
The next step is to think about what rituals might have meaning for you in the holiday that you can still do this year, even if you can't do exactly what you've done in the past. Whether or not you're participating in a virtual Seder or Easter dinner or formal services in the days surrounding the holiday, try to bring as much or as little of the holiday into your consciousness as you wish. Focus on one part of the holiday rather than trying to capture the entire experience. You will not be preparing a meal for 20 people, but you can still make one or more of your favorite dishes for 1 or 2 people. You may not go through the entire Haggadah, the entire story of the Seder. You might, but you might not. And maybe you'll feel better if you focus on only one part, something that's always been meaningful to you, or something that you always wanted to think about more, that you haven't had the time to think about. If you so choose, part of the ritual is setting the table, putting on nice clothes, put flowers on the table if you can, real or artificial. Think about what the holiday has meant to you throughout your life. For some of you, it will be memories of continuity. And for others, it will be memories of change, different traditions, different people, different locations. So don't focus, you have plenty of time to think about what you want for the holidays. Don't focus on the losses. Think about what you can do. Turn to holiday songs, readings, prayers. Repeat them as often as needed. Another idea is to use the holiday songs that you love and use them as a mantra for when you're washing your hands or when you're doing anything else to help you get ready for this holiday. Just bring the holiday with you as much as possible. Listen to or make music as much as you can, relating to the holiday or not. Music leads to activity in multiple parts of the brain where we process emotion, memory, awareness, and attention. It can help to short-circuit sadness by using these brain areas to bring up happy emotions and joyful memories as we turn our attention to the song. We also know that music can bring up strong emotions and heartfelt tears to the surface as well. We're aware of that, but we think it is still so important to be accessing those feelings at this time. Now, you may think it's too painful to think about the holiday when you can't celebrate it with those you love, and you may want to do nothing. But if you think ahead and do a little planning, you may find meaning in the holiday in this time of COVID, even when it is completely different from any other time that you've celebrated Passover or Easter. The major question, the first question of the Passover Haggadah is, why is this night different from all other nights? And I think part of our preparation for Passover and for Easter and for Ramadan is to answer that question about what's different this year and how does it still have meaning for us and for our loved ones. Sure.
Gratitude. We know from research that a daily gratitude practice is good for us. Think of one thing you're grateful for and share it with someone or post it on social media. By focusing on what we have versus what we don't have, we will gain positive emotions. And to nourish those emotions, we can look for things that bring us peace and joy in the holiday season. For example, journal a poem or a verse that is meaningful to you. You can write it on a sticky note and place it in an area that where it would be available to read more often. Incorporate acts of kindness into your everyday life. Writing a senior's day from a distance, write a holiday message, color a picture, or send a card to someone in a nursing home. And have hope, a feeling that everything is going to work out fine. It's the fuel that drives us into forward thinking and into a better future.
Another important activity is appreciate nature. These are spring holidays. Ramadan goes around the calendar, but Easter and Passover always occur in the spring. We're all part of that cycle of life, even if we're not all together in one place. Open your windows. Go outside as much as possible if you can. Savor the sights of the flowering trees and plants. Smell the fresh green grass. Move your weary muscles. I've read articles that suggest that sunshine vitamin D can be beneficial in building the immunity we all need to fight the coronavirus. So don't neglect your relationship to nature. And nature is also a very, very important connection to the spiritual. Okay. Breathe. It's our last item on this page. Breathe. In, counting to 4 or 5 as you deliberately inhale, and then very deliberately exhale. Focus on all 5 of your senses, perhaps with reference to the upcoming holiday. While you're breathing, for example, smell the sweet aroma of a favorite food if you're cooking. Feel the texture of the clothing you'll wear or tablecloth you might put on your table, or that pillow you always recline on during the Seder. Hear the clink of wine glasses or the crunch of matzah. But really, really look at that one small item in your home related to the holiday that warms your heart. It can be serious or it can be lighthearted, but access those feelings. I want to share with you, in my case, the 2 things that I'm going to be looking at as part of the holiday. First of all, I'm going to put out my grandmother's china, but just 2 place settings, but I'm going to touch it, I'm going to feel it, I'm going to think about what that table looked like at other times, who was there, what they meant to me. If I'm talking to them on the phone, that would be nice, or if we're in a Zoom, that would be lovely. If we're not, I'm still going to access those memories and those feelings and that sense of touch. The other thing is a little more lighthearted. I am bringing Matzah Man to you. It's animatronic. He's a little creature, and he sings a little song when you press his foot. Okay. Well, I may not be able to stop him. This is the holiday in my house. My grandchildren love Matzah Man. They walk around pushing his foot all the time. I shouldn't have turned it on. I'm really sorry. I'm going to FaceTime with them. I'm going to play Matzah Man. I'm probably going to walk past Matzah Man many times, turning back on. I suspect a lot of you have special bunnies or frogs or other things that just, again, bring up all the memories that you touch and you feel and you hear that bring the holiday to you. So I hope they all fill us with good feelings. In closing, we have a closing meditation. We want you to practice compassion for yourself and others by reciting this short blessing. We can do it all together. Mm-hmm. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May all people be safe.
May
all people be happy. May all people be
at peace.
Thank you.
Okay.
We could start looking at questions.
Yes.
Would be useful. Okay.
See what we have here.
Let's see. How can I make the holiday interactive without access to video or a family member who does not have that? How do I cook for just one? What if I can't get the traditional foods I normally eat? Okay. Should I start?
Sure.
Maybe I'll start from the bottom, I'll do the foods first. We'll think about that. Maybe you don't do when you talk about cooking for just one, maybe you don't make the full meal. Maybe you do the things that really matter, or something that really says the Seder to you or the holiday to you. And, because you don't want to have this sense of only loss. You want to have that sense of possibility and connection to the past. And so think a little bit more carefully about what you're cooking. If you can't get the traditional foods, improvise. There's so much on the internet right now about if you can't do this, do that. If you can't have, one of the things that's on a Seder plate is usually a shank bone. Might be a little bit hard to find a shank bone right now, but the rabbis of 1,000, 2,000 years ago have already thought of that, and they have various alternatives for things that you can put on your Seder plate, like a beet or something else. That will serve the ritual purpose. Similarly, if you're dipping, something into salty water, or you need horseradish and you can't get there, you can use anything that's spicy. It could be, I've seen it said, even something like ginger, or cayenne, or a jalapeno, anything that brings those feelings up. It's not the food per se, it's the feelings and it's the tradition that matter. And that's what we have to focus on. Shirley, what do you think about making the holiday interactive without access to video?
Yeah, well, my thought is telephone, the old-fashioned telephone. You could put your call on speaker so that more than one person can talk at one time. There's still a few days left actually writing a letter. Everybody, seems to forget about letter writing and the importance of how that can make somebody feel so special, or having a young child maybe draw a picture or color something to send to a loved one. So I think getting back to the basics with telephone and mail could be helpful. Let's see, do we have any other questions here?
I'm not seeing anything else.
No. Well, we could give a few seconds to wait. If anybody has any questions or comments.
Yes, please join in.
All right, if you can't think of any questions now, and you have any additional questions or are looking for more one-on-one support, please know that JFCS now has drop-in hours every weekday. You're welcome to call in during these hours to connect to a counselor for a 30-minute support session, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Just call us at 609-987-8100 and dial 0 to be connected with a clinician. We will continue to offer community webinars. The next scheduled webinar you will see shortly. At JFCS, we are all about help, hope, and healing. We are committed to helping in any way we can with our counseling, food pantry and delivery, senior services, and more. We know hope is needed more than ever, and we want to be a light of hope with these webinars and resources for our community. And we understand the healing process will be ongoing for a very long time after we've weathered the storm, and JFCS will always be there for you. Thank you for joining us, and please find a way to enjoy your holidays. See you again soon.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And sweet holidays.